Today on Lake Commandos. A good commando feels right at home fishing exotic locations. But today, Steve Pennaz will have his hands full traveling north of the border for an international big bass battle.
I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes. Ooh, that's a big fish. But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos.
For a lake commando, there are no limits to how far you'll go to find and catch fish. That includes waters that are far away from any roads or boat ramps. And some of the best stretch across the northern third of North America, a land of water and woods known as the Canadian Shield. Today, Steve Pennaz and Berkley brand marketing manager Chris Hockley, a Canadian commando, are en route to a northern Ontario multi-species mecca known as Rowan Lake and Nielsen's Fly-In Lodge.
I've known Don and Lynn Persh for a number of years, owners of Nielsen Fly-In Lodges here on Rowan Lake. This lodge really caters to trophy muskie fishermen. Rowan is world famous for giant muskies. In fact, one of the guests here caught a 40-pound class fish just last night. But one of the hidden things about this lake is the lake trout fishing and, of course, the bass, both largemouth and smallmouth.
Rowan is fairly typical of most large Canadian Shield lakes in that it's a 17-mile-long, 7-mile-wide maze of bays, points, and rocky islands. With a max depth of 180 feet and crystal clear water, combined with plenty of weed growth and rocks, Rowan is the ideal habitat for many fish species. But today's commando mission won't be easy. To break down a body of water this large and diverse without the aid of electronic mapping will force the commandos to rely on experience and know-how to find active fish.
Now Chris, if I know him properly, he's gonna be throwing soft plastic on a jig head and that's his game, but I'm gonna go with a hard bait because I wanna cover water, I wanna put more fish in the boat than him, I wanna beat him today. The Flicker Minnow, brand new bait from Berkley, it's already winning tournaments in the walleye side. Guys are classifying this as a walleye bait, but I tell you what, this is deadly multi-species and it's deadly on bass. I'm gonna throw it on 8-pound nanofill, great casting distance, it can allow me to dig deep, a little bit of pike protection and a little bit of invisibility. I'm gonna put a 10-pound, 100% fluorocarbon leader from Trilene. I'm gonna throw it on a 7-foot Veritas rod from Abu Garcia and an SX Revo, it's a 30 size spinning reel, great drag and a great combination to put the smack down on Chris today.
It's one of the things you have to watch with these television hosts. I was looking for the flicker minnows this morning, they were already gone. He got up, it had to have been 4 o'clock this morning and grabbed them. Has he picked the right bait? I think he has. He's got the right bait, but I know that I can beat the angler. And what I've done is selected, it's the power bait Fighting Bug. I'm gonna be able to be a little more versatile. I can fish on rocks. I can pull it quickly just under the water, and I can also pop it through the weeds. This crawfish, these fish, that's what they live on. That's what they're looking for. So I think that that's definitely going to give me the advantage. And there's no doubt in my mind that I can beat the angler.
The decision is made to start the day chasing smallmouth with Steve's flicker minnow pattern. He'll have control of the boat for 2 hours, then turn things over to Chris for 2 hours. At the end of the day, the guy with the most fish will be today's top commando.
You know, I've been playing out in this deeper water. I'm not seeing any fish below, say, 12, 13 feet, so maybe it's been such a weird year. Water temp on the surface right now is 73, but from what Don was telling us, the water temp down 10 feet is only 61.
Yeah.
I think these fish are still shallow. I think we should work shorelines to start and just see what happens. This one might be number 1. There he is. Yes!
Oh, you did it.
Yes!
You broke the seal.
There we go. First fish. You know, if a 1 pound fish fights that hard, can you imagine what a 5 fights like out of here?
It may have taken no time to catch the first fish, but there's no way fish like that will be enough to beat Chris Hockley on Canadian water.
That's a nice smallie.
Ooh, nice smallie.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Trilene, Anglers Trust Berkley Trilene. Abu Garcia, for life. Power Pole, shallow water anchor. Swift, silent, secure. Garmin, the clearest scanning sonar images on the water. And by Plano, protect your passion.
Smallmouth. They got another one with them.
Oh, nice.
Chris, we got a pattern going right now. If we got weeds, we got bass.
Yeah, yeah.
The Lake Commandos are on a fly-in bass fishing adventure north of the border. And Steve Pennaz has the early lead on Chris Hockley.
I mean, that's not a giant bass, but look at that stomach.
I'm jealous.
But this is one Canadian who won't go down without a fight on his home ground. An Ontario native, Chris is an avid, lifelong, multi-species angler who turned his passion into a successful career as the brand marketing manager for Berkley Tackle.
You know, one of the most effective places to fish a crankbait is in the grass, and that's because a lot of guys just don't like to try and fish cranks through here. The key here is not to make long casts. You're gonna snag up virtually every cast. That's not a lot of fun. So what I like to do is just make short casts and thread them through the weeds. Now, I've got a bait that's running just above the weeds, or in the case where they come all the way to the surface, I can actually run it around it. But fish in the weeds don't see a lot of crankbaits because guys don't fish them. That's one of the reasons that they're so deadly in the green stuff. See that? Look at another bass with them.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to him.
Right out of this weed patch here. Ooh, that's a good size one. Oh man, I can't believe how strong these fish are. This fish just came out of the heavy grass, and not only was it a decent fish, there was another one coming out with them. And this is one of those situations where crankbaits really do shine if you make short casts and keep the bait under control. Not a giant, but it's one bigger than Mr. Hockley's got right now.
You know, one of the things that we're finding, especially being in these weeds, is I threw on the 9-centimeter flicker minnow this morning, and you can see what I'm dealing with. You know, you have to think of your crankbaits, your hard baits as tools, in a toolbox. And this one is particularly good if we were a little bit deeper. But seeing as we're shallow, I'm gonna make the switch to the 7.
I always like to start shallow, simply because that's where the most active fish tend to be, especially in the bass species. It worked out on this trip. If we hadn't found the fish shallow, we would have moved into that medium zone. But today, bass in the weeds doesn't get any better than that. First cast on the
First cast with that 7-centimeter makes a huge difference. Just the tool that we're looking for these smallies right now. And I believe that may be the biggest one in the boat so far.
It's not in the boat. That's a nice bass though.
Man, these are so healthy. Just beautiful fish. You just gotta watch those hooks.
First cast. Here, you need a pliers?
Yes, please. You know, making those changes is all the difference in the world. You know, we switched to the 7-centimeter, knowing that it have a little bit different action. It did. That was the first cast on the board.
You know, in many ways, when you look at the size of the fish that you're catching, it'll give you an idea if you're in the preferred habitat. The bigger fish are gonna hold in the best fish holding areas. The bigger fish wanted the cabbage, and these flicker minnows, when we did move into the cabbage, they ran just perfectly where we could rip them through the cabbage. It wasn't a straight retrieve. It was bring it down to depth and then rip it. And these smallmouth would just come up and smash it. Got one. Ooh, what is it?
Ooh,
good
that's
bass.
a nice one.
Good bass.
Nice, nice.
Another, look at the other one. That's even bigger.
That's got some shoulders, buddy.
Yeah, back hooker. Look at that one.
Oh, nice fish, Steve.
Oh, he ate it. And what was cool is that other one wanted it too. There was two. Yeah. Chris, look at that beast.
Oh, that's an awesome fish. You know, and there were other ones with them.
Good. That other one with it was just as big too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, it's not a long fish, but the belly, they just are chunks in here. Extremely well fed and strong.
As the time for the Flicker Minnow program comes to a close, Steve has built a commanding lead. But he might need it as Chris Hockley takes control and puts the power bait fighting bug to work.
I'm home, baby, and I'm on the board.
Hey, there's nothing I like more than starting the day on a cool lake with a big warm cup of coffee. Unfortunately, this morning when we were launching the boat, I tipped over my mug and spilled 24 ounces of coffee right here into my carpet. One of my favorite products from Yamalube is called YamaClean Carpet Cleaner. And even though I have great carpet to hide the dirt, when I have things like fish blood and coffee all over my carpet, I use this. All you do is spray it, let it foam up. You can see the coffee stains already starting to lift in the white, and just kind of rub it in. There's no need for extra water or anything else. That's what I love about this product. Hey, when it comes to achieving peak performance, maintenance matters.
This segment is brought to you by Yeti Coolers. Yeti, wildly stronger, keep ice longer. On Ontario's Rowan Lake, Steve Pennaz and Chris Hockley are locked in a Canadian commando battle. Pennaz built a big lead with his Flicker Minnow smallmouth pattern. Now it's Hockley's turn to tie on the power bait and take control of the boat. But a bait change might not be enough to slow down a red-hot Steve Pennaz.
Chris, look at this fish down here. Come on, eat it. Eat it. Look at that. Look at that. He's got it.
Oh.
Ooh, good fish, too. Look at that. Oh. That thing's pushing 4 pounds, baby.
Oh, that is nice.
Look at that. Hey, smallmouth and crawfish go together. That fighting bug is a great new bait from Berkley. I love the look, but I like how tough it is, and I love how natural it looks.
Woo! You know, I was all alone up here for a while and it was good, but you're harsh and my mellow.
Look at that. Isn't that that's a gorgeous bass.
Oh, just absolutely gorgeous.
We dropped that thing into these weed clumps, and I actually watched smallmouth grab this thing with aggression. It was a great big fish bait.
Oh, right off the point.
Look at that.
I'm stuck on the wood here and
get the lens wet with that baby. I kept trimming that green off the jig. I didn't like it.
another nice one.
Oh man. You know what? We caught some quality fish on the Flicker Minnow. This power bait's putting a knockdown on these big brownsies. How many smallies have we caught today?
Oh, we got a decent amount. I'm kind of thinking of, as much as I love smallie fishing, largemouth is what I was born and bred on. So I hear there's a nice bay close to here for some big largemouth. Why don't we go give that a try?
I'm game. I'm game.
There's
what
one.
You got, man?
There's a bucket.
There's a largie. Look at that. Nice fish. Oh, ho, ho. There you go.
I'm home, baby, and I'm on the board.
Nice one.
Oh. We came around the corner, we started fishing right away. We got one fish, but then went for a long stretch where we weren't catching anything. You know, at that point in time, we all, again, I'll go back to the point that we all just want to start to fish. We'll often make that mistake, and instead should be putting the rods down and taking a drive around in those areas that are new to you. You know where those fish should be. You also have a good feeling for, hey, this is a great spot. So don't waste time in between fishing waters that you're questionable. hop on the outboard, drive around, look for those areas, and we happen to stumble to a gold mine. In this case, we happen to be going across the lake and hit this area of weeds that we just both knew instantly. Stop the boat. This is where we're gonna fish.
Look at the weeds I got.
Is that a Christmas tree? What'd you catch there, Steve?
There's a fish in there too.
There is.
Holy cow!
What have you done?
Talk about the strength of fluoro, and it's a largie.
Oh, I got a good one here too.
You got the salad like me? Oh, beaut!
Look at that.
Hey, we're on them now, baby. Oh, my first largie up here. Nice.
You know, we were coming across that bay and I was up in the front and could see this giant weed patch and both of us stopped at the same time. This is the spot. 2 fish that quick.
It looks like the Commandos have zeroed in on the winning location. Now, can Steve Pennaz hold off a hard-charging Chris Hockley? Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Yeti, wildly stronger. Keep ice longer. Fraybill, trusted gear since 1938. Berkley Power Bait, fish bite and won't let go. And by Abu Garcia, for life. The Commandos have changed from smallmouth to largemouth, and from shoreline weeds to thick, isolated mid-lake weed patches. The bite is on, but in an attempt to come from behind, Chris Hockley has also made a bait change, from the Power Bait Fightin' Bug to the Power Bait Shaky Worm.
Oh, there's one. Oh,
Look at that. There's another tank. Oh, man. You're catching up, dude.
That's power bait, baby.
You're catching up.
Look at the paunch on these.
They're just tanks.
They are so heavy and healthy.
I'd heard this lake had largies. I had no idea they were of that quality.
Oh,
I mean, we got some big smallies there. We got some great largemouth. The problem is you're catching up, dude. I don't like it. Don't like it. Ow, man, look at.
Oh, I just had one. There he is.
What do you got? No, it's a bass.
15 minutes is all I need.
Yes.
That can't count. Seriously?
Yes. Yes, back to 4. Hey, dude. North Country bass. Look at that.
There.
Look at the minnows are everywhere down there. Look at, there's thousands of them. Ooh, big fish. Nice.
Today, the Commandos proved a couple of important things. First, you can catch multi-species in multiple locations on the same body of water and the same day. Secondly, if you take the time to seek out the right location and combine it with the right bait, whether it's flicker minnows for smallmouth in shallow weeds or power bait for largemouth in deep weeds, the action can be non-stop. And despite a late-day largemouth charge from Chris Hockley, it's not going to be enough to catch Steve Pennaz.
Oh, I had a bite. There he is.
There he is. Look at him go. Look at him go.
Got him.
Oh. What you got?
That's a bass.
That's a bass.
Well, dude, we're running out of time. Somebody tell this fish he's not that strong. Holy cow. Oh, it's a smallie, no wonder.
It's a smallie.
Well, the good news is we had a great time today.
We sure did.
The bad news is you're gonna have to wait for the rematch.
You know, with a day like this, I'm okay with that.
Wow. Well, we had a chance to crankbait him, we had a chance to worm him, and that fighting bug was great, but I mean, look at these bass.
They're beautiful fish.
Chris, check it out. This is not a pike, this is a baby muskie. That's a tiger muskie.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. That's my first tiger muskie.